It started as most of these stories start, with a very disruptive kid who had to know how things worked, even if it meant they weren't in it. From a very young age, I constantly broke everything I touched, taking it apart to study its insides. Round about when I was 9, I had my first smartphone and was first introduced into the world of software. Since then, something inside changed. In front of me was something that had no physical parts to break open and dig around, but had the same environmental effect in my life as any other toy car, old iron, or broken radio. I had to know how it worked. It started with WhatsApp and me asking, how does it know that I'm typing and show the other person? How does it know that my message has been sent, giving me gray ticks? How does it know it had to give me a double blue tick? Questions I couldn't answer, but were doing rounds in my head. Later in life, at the ripe age of 12, all of this flew out my head, and I was pretty sure that I was destined to be a chartered accountant. Because obviously the money, but I also kind of liked accounting, and I was actually quite good at it throughout the end of primary into high school, where I carried this new dream over. Until I was 15, and needed to make subject choices, when something else sparked my interest. Something that would answer all those questions I had. See, my high school offered IT, or information technology, and at the time I didn't know what it was, but deep down I knew I had to take it. However, that came at a cost since it was conflicting with me taking accounting. So I had to pick one. Either stay in my comfort zone and please the 12-year-old me that wanted to be a chartered accountant, or take a risk, try IT to solve all my 9-year-old me's questions about software. After some research, I chose the latter. A new world opened up, and it was everything I ever wanted. I was addicted. Coding was all I ever wanted to do. It was all that I ever did. I had to learn more. I had to do more. Holidays were spent learning new coding languages, app development, web development, game development. Anything that had to do with coding, I wanted to do. And I somewhat did. I made a working website for one of my friends, learned game development, and eventually released Night's Composure and Factory Escape on itch.io, among other projects, to build my portfolio to one day become a computer science student. That was me. That was what I wanted to be. And that's what I'm currently doing today. This year, 2023, I got accepted for my first year into the University of Pretoria for computer science. And even though sometimes it feels like it's beating me to the ground and I can't breathe, no matter how hard it gets, even when Pitchfork backhands me with every single submission I make, I still love it. I still have that same passion for coding as I did when I first started. I still want to do more and code all these side projects and games and websites and apps and so on and so forth. Thinking back to 15-year-old me, looking at that paper, deciding what subject to take, I don't think he realized the can of worms he was about to open. But I know he doesn't regret a thing, and he definitely made 9-year-old me proud. If it wasn't for that day, I'd probably be in accounting. Yeah, no, in grade 10 upwards, accounting just was horrible for everyone involved. So I dodged the bullet, I think.